Kevin Christian is in the studio. Kevin is the Public Relations Officer and the Coordinator of Television Media Productions for the Marion County Public Schools, an amazing musician, a good friend, and it's good to have him in the studio. Dr. Heidi Maier is also in the studio, beautiful lady, and the Superintendent of Marion County Public Schools. Good morning to both of you again.
Good morning.
Now that we're officially on the air with you.
Okay.
The first thing I wanted to ask you, Dr. Maier, is who got something wrong, or did anybody get anything wrong? That whole thing about no homework. It sounded like the way the paper made it seem, and maybe they were right. You're here, so I can ask you, that there was a mandate. You will not give homework anymore. And I said to Robin, I don't think that's what she meant. I think she meant you don't have to give homework anymore. What was the real message to the teachers?
In elementary school, we will not be assigning homework to our students in elementary. The traditional homework, the didactic worksheets that take hours with the family and cause stress and tension at home. Instead, we want our children to be reading with their families. We know, we have the research that shows that that traditional type of homework does not accomplish academic success, does not lead to it. We also have the research that shows that 20 minutes of reading a night with a family member does show academic gains and also creates a lifelong bond with a family member and increases that intrinsic love of reading, which is what we want.
Oh my gosh, you really hit something close to me because, and Robin, when our children were little, Robin, you're going to need to be closer to that mic, I think.
I know.
Oh, that's okay. You won't be in the picture.
Okay. Come on in, Robin.
All right.
You're not, don't worry, you're not in the
Okay,
picture.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine.
There.
I was doing it yesterday.
When my son Alex was little, I read to him every night. Yeah. And even if it was the same book, which was crazy.
That's okay.
That's
Can
great.
we read this one again? Oh my gosh. Again?
Yes, for the third time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or more.
How many?
Yes.
33rd time. I looked up the book, by the way, to see if it was still around. It was called How Spider Saved Santa Bug. And I found it. I found it online. And one day I sent him a Facebook picture of it. Whatever.
Be a great surprise Christmas gift.
Oh gosh, don't say
Nice.
Don't tell him. But anyway, yeah. So the message. So if I was a teacher, does that mean I can't give out homework at all?
In elementary?
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. What we are asking again, and we will be giving support from the district office for communication purposes, but we will be sending that message home to families about how important the reading is. Our teachers will be encouraging that intrinsic love of reading as well as student self-selecting their text, not assigning a book to read, but allowing that student to select their own text. Again, we have that research that shows that's what makes a difference when a student self-selects text.
Yeah, I don't want to harp on this too much. In fact, I think we may have talked about this with a previous visit, but I remember in the early days of Harry Potter, before it was a movie, when it was just a book, we had callers that were challenging all these kids reading it. And I said, well, are you kidding? They're reading. Yeah.
They're reading.
To me, that was the biggest reason why this was an important story. The kids read it because it was fun. Some of the callers now, you got to remember the people who call and complain are in the minority a lot of times.
Right. But again, that would be a parent's choice as to what their child reads. And there's just so much out there to read. Sometimes I sit at night and I think, oh my gosh, I'm so sad because I will never read all the books I ever want to read. There are so many out there that I want to. I'll never have that chance. But there are so many options. And again, what a great bonding opportunity for that parent and child to choose a text together and then to read it. And the seminal research that we're basing this on is by Dr. Richard Allington, who currently is at the University of Tennessee, but he was at UF for a long time.
Okay.
And he is coming here to do our professional development in-service in October.
Oh,
so
neat.
he will speak to our secondary teachers on that Monday and our elementary teachers on that Tuesday, and they will hear it directly from him. He's an amazing man. He also had done all that research on the summer slump and how students lose those academic gains in the summer, which is why we kept our libraries open this past summer. So we're very excited.
Oh, that is really
Yes.
cool.
One point of clarification. Students may have homework occasionally, like for a science fair project or a history report or a biography, something like that. But we're talking about the everyday, what people would call trivial homework. Homework for the sake of being homework. That's what we're not going to have.
Will teachers then be sending more reports home at the end of each week so the parents know how the students are doing in class because they won't be helping with homework?
Well, we will be keeping the website, the teacher's website, updated Every school has a website. Every teacher has a page on that school website, and it is a very easy way for the teacher to do that. So that will be kept updated.
And parents have family access, which is
Yes.
online, gives them 24/7 access to all of the education records of their children.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, that is really cool. Gosh, I lost my train of thought. The recess part of the news item. What does that mean?
Every child in elementary school will have daily 20 minutes of uninterrupted recess, and we had decided that even before the governor signed HB 7069. So that was already worked into the schedule. They will have the uninterrupted recess time, which cannot be taken away for discipline reasons. So if you're naughty during class, you will still have your recess because it's very important. We know that it is important to not only have a child relax and unwind, but it also helps cognitively to get that child to be able to have that reflection time and then come back to the classroom ready to learn. So uninterrupted recess time, as well as the PE time, which is also mandated by state statute and which is a great thing. So PE will be standards based, and it will be teaching students skills like how to play basketball or soccer, things like that. But recess will be child directed. So if that child wants to initiate a game or an organized activity, that's great. If they just want to walk around with a friend, or if they want to sit and read a book, that's going to be child directed.
Oh, wow. And that goes
Nice.
up through 5th grade?
Through 5th grade, yes.
Oh, okay. Do the teachers have, like I would imagine that somebody who enters the field of being an educator has great ideas, an unbelievable dedication to helping children become adults, basically. And sometimes I wonder if the state doesn't micromanage what they do, and instead of letting them be a little bit creative with their thoughts, how much in our district, how much do we have of that?
Of
The ability for a teacher to look at the curriculum that she or he has to abide by, and then say, you know what, I'm going to do this one a little different. Are they allowed to do that?
Certainly. I mean, it would be no different than you taking the melody of a song and putting any kind of background music that you wanted to, any kind of accompaniment, whether you wanted a symphony, whether you wanted a brass section. You have that freedom to make those
That's
choices.
very good.
Teachers have the same. They
So
have
I-
to teach the standard,
I think
which
that's
would be the
good,
melody.
because professionals who decided to become professional teachers, I think they've got it in their mind what they want to do, and they've got some really good ideas.
Exactly. And we just published the curriculum maps for our teachers yesterday. And what the curriculum maps do are line out the standards for the teachers in an order, because they are a developmental sequence. One builds upon another. So we've lined those out and given them dates where, by this date, we need you here with these standards. But if you're teaching them to fidelity and your students are moving quicker, then move quicker. We need you to move quicker. If your students need more time, as long as you can give us that instructional rationale and explain it to your principal, then you need to move slower, but you need to let us know what we can do to help you catch those kids up. So again, we're just giving the teachers the standards. You teach the standards. You don't teach a curriculum. We're not saying to adhere to a program. We're saying teach those kids the standards. And again, that's what they went to college for, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We trust them.
And to prepare them for that,
Yes.
is really a wonderful thing. I like the idea that they have freedom. And does that vary from school district to school district?
It does.
Okay. So it has a lot to do with you. I mean, it starts with you. I mean, your devotion to what you're doing is so obvious on your Facebook posts. I mean, you're constantly. I mean, you're night and day. This is not an 8-hour-a-day job for you.
Well, we've got 42,000.
43,150 this year.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Kids to take care of.
Wow.
Is that the biggest we've ever had?
In recent memory, yes.
Yeah, large.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we've got great people on the front line. Our teachers are amazing. We just did a 2-day training with content area specialists, the new coaches that we have, and they're under a completely new model. They'll have 60% of their time devoted to helping teachers, 40% to helping students.
Wow.
So again, that boots on the ground. Our teachers are coming back, new teachers today, and new teachers had a special training last week, but their official days today. The rest of the teachers come tomorrow. Last week we had a principal leadership academy, where we brought all the principals in and got them all jazzed up for the new year. So
So last time we were
excited.
here, we were talking about what Tallahassee handed down to you, and you weren't so
Yes.
happy with everything. But it sounds like you took clay that it wasn't so pretty clay, and you molded it. You made it better. It sounds like. I mean, just based on the last visit compared to today.
Exactly. That's kind of a parallel discussion. While we deal with all of that politics stuff, I think our job at the district office is to keep all that
Gotcha.
out of the classroom and
Right.
let them do what they do best, and just give them the resources to take care of those kids.
Yeah. I think that's true. My daughter-in-law is a teacher. I don't know if I ever told you that, did I?
Yay.
At Lake Weir Middle. And so one of the things that we've talked about on the air that was of political nature, I was asking her about, and she was very knowledgeable about it. And I thought, this doesn't even come up in the classroom.
No,
So
it doesn't. May happen between teachers and in the teachers' lounge, that kind of thing,
right.
but no, not for the classroom.
So you have new principals?
We have 24 schools
Wow.
with new principals this year.
Wow.
11 first-time principals, and 4 of those are brand new to Marion County.
Really?
So lots of new leadership styles in place. We have more than 220 new teachers in Marion County Public Schools this year, which is really, it sounds like a lot. That's kind of the norm for us, anywhere from 200 to 400 each year.
What is it about Marion County, Kevin, that consistently brings us at the top with the media stuff? Every year, there's always that announcement about the kids doing wonderfully well. Is it there's something about our culture that just, like Alex Moy, for example, he's now a professional video guy, and he started out in the schools.
I think the key is leadership, whether it's at home, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's at school, that we have good leaders in place who make the difference and impact people.
And the one thing I think to parallel the video production is the ability to communicate, because that's ultimately what they're demonstrating. And that reading, understanding somebody else's communication to you, is as important as being able to communicate back to others.
I learned a long time ago, you cannot not communicate. Let me say that again. You cannot not
gotcha.
communicate.
Yeah, right.
You are communicating whether you speak or not.
What did I just think? All right. Thank you for the questions, by the way. I'm so distracted. These questions are so handy right now.
When you talk about the standards and everything, you also encourage the students to be creative, and then you have the magnet schools in our community.
We have lots of magnet schools. We have magnet programs. Lots of new opportunities for all students, really. If you look at it across the board, we've kind of changed the way we operate when it comes to magnet programs. So there's a new process in place that really opens it up for all students, not just students who test at a certain level. That's the key. And we have 2 new career choice academies going in for high school students. Logistics, which is a hot topic in our community right now with all the companies that are moving into this area. So Lake Weir High School and Westport High School are the locations for the 2 new logistic academies that open next week.
And is that going to extend the school day at some of those schools?
No, we still fit that in during the normal school day, but certainly we'll expand the experiences of those students.
So school starts when?
Next Thursday, August 10th.
A week from
Crazy,
tomorrow.
isn't it? A week from tomorrow.
Oh my goodness! So you guys are already working. I mean, the teachers, right? They're already in school.
New teachers come today, and returning teachers come back tomorrow. So they have about a week. They have some professional development and in-service built into that time frame.
And you have orientation too.
All schools have orientations coming up. Yes, we have those posted on our homepage, marionschools.net. So folks can go there and look at that. We shared that information a couple weeks ago. With the
Yeah, we
public.
have it, and we put it on our
Perfect.
Facebook page.
Thank you.
Do you know, when my son was going to elementary school, I made sure that I got home very close to the school. What was it, maybe 2 blocks? Every day I used to love this. We had a dog, and so I'd walk him to school with the dog, and at the end of the day, the dog and I'd be waiting right by the gate, and he would come out. And you know what? You hope that those 5 years, or 6 years if you count kindergarten, you hope that they are forever in his memory. You know, I hope there's some memory of seeing Dad standing out there with the dog. You know, so.
A lot of students have to rely on the school bus for transportation. How are the bus drivers this year with the schedule?
Actually, we are keeping our fingers crossed. I've been with the district 16 years, and I've never been able to say that we are fully staffed when it comes to our bus drivers. That means we have upwards of 300 people who are trained to be on buses, whether it's driving a bus or being a bus aide. But we're all the way there. You notice my fingers are crossed right now. We have around 285 buses that are on the road every day. About 25,000 students depend on us to get them to and from school. So it's a significant responsibility that's outside the confines of the traditional classroom.
You know, I
So
thought about
you
applying.
Don't think about that.
I saw the job position.
Yes.
I thought about applying. I thought if I had the school bus position, I would be like
I will
Bill
tell
Murray.
you, the bus drivers that I talk to are lifelong bus drivers, people who've driven for 23, 25, 32
Oh, really?
years.
So you would have said no to me?
Honestly.
I couldn't sing to the
I
kids?
think they have the hardest job in our district. Think about it.
You know the
They pick
answer.
kids up in the morning
Yep.
when they don't want to go to school, and they get kids in the afternoon when they're all riled up and ready to go home. So they're the first face that our students see and the last face that they see.
And some of the school buses accommodate the students with special needs.
Absolutely, yes. Those are very unique routes with unique students on board, and siblings usually will ride together, so we keep that component together. And those bus drivers are the ones that I find have been with us for the longest period of time because they develop relationships with those students that they see every day.
Now, a reminder too about buses. With the beginning of school, we're going to have some delays, which is just
Always, yeah,
inadvertent,
yeah.
because we want to keep those kids safe, because safety
Right,
first, please.
right.
So just be patient these first couple days.
And I would remind drivers to slow down because those yellow flashing lights, school zone lights, are going to be flashing again.
What are the vaccination rules and all that? Do we need to mention that?
Well, those are standardized for registering for school, but what's of particular interest to us each year is incoming 7th graders. There's a special series of boosters, if you will, that they have to have. And by state law, if they don't have proof of that, they cannot be allowed into school. So last year we had 300-400, something like that, 7th graders that didn't have those shots. But the schools have been promoting that, reminding parents through the summer. And then, of course, once school starts and parents get that call that their kid isn't allowed into class because they don't have their shots, that's pretty quickly remedied.
The tax-free weekend is this weekend.
yes.
Starts Friday morning, I think, right, Robin?
Yes.
And it runs through Sunday night. And one of the things is $750 limit on electronic things. What? Because that's obviously not new, but it would be unusual when I was a kid. There was nothing that you couldn't even come close to that, right? So what do they need? And you know the Stuff the Bus program that Susan McGuire does,
Between Stuff the Bus and Tools for Teaching at the foundation, we really have
You're doing good.
supplies for countless kids.
So that's where I was kind of going with my
Yes.
question. If there's anything we can do other than
But again, those are community-based donations, so we have to thank the community and give them credit for making
I
it happen.
lost on a scratch-off ticket yesterday, so I made my $2 contribution.
Well, we can debate that. We can debate that, whether you made a contribution to the lottery.
He knows how he steps in before I say anything.
And we
he's
do
the
have the
best.
back-to-school bash this weekend, and a lot of the
mall here.
schools
Right
are
here, yes.
participating. The
Joe is the
cheerleaders
MC.
and
That's a huge fun event that lots of people need to take advantage of. You can actually stop at that event inside the mall, air conditioning, thank you, and check bus routes. Make sure you've got all your school supplies. We'll have Stuff the Bus information there. Lots of information that's really just pertinent to every student who attends our school.
And now you also have a superintendent's leadership conference. What is
ahead.
that?
Well, we had that, was it last
Couple
week?
weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago now. But it was for all of our principals, and that's where we got all of them together, because, we have a lot of new ones, and we had some changes. So everybody came together. We got them energized and excited. It was really quality professional development for these principals who are the instructional leaders of their school. And again, that mindset has kind of changed too, where they're more than just keeping the budget at the school and making sure things are running right. They are the instructional leaders and the inspiration point for that school. So it was just a great time.
They're the face of their schools. They're the identity of their schools. When you think of where your child went to school, you could probably name who the principal was.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely, yeah.
that's the key. And we always stress, it's people relationships. A lot of people say public relations is PR. Well, it's really people relations. And that's what I stress with our administrators is that, you're investing in your school community, in your students, in your parents.
Did the budget include or exclude the arts and those kinds of things? There was a little bit of talk about that. Remember?
Oh, it included it. And
Good,
again,
good.
thank you to the voters of Marion County for that referendum. It has made such a great impact on our students and has funded so many programs, including our vocational. Oftentimes you don't think about the vocational because the art was so prevalent in the push for that. But not only did it fund the arts program, which we have a new arts specialist in our county office who is just taking off and running with things. And you'll see us being much more involved with the arts, a bigger presence and a bigger relationship with our local arts community. But our vocational programs and oh my gosh, just fabulous.
Yeah, lots of activity with even the library
Yes.
programs that we mentioned earlier. Some libraries were open this summer. We've restored those programs, restored the music programs, so all the way.
I'm sure that's good news for anybody who knows the importance of the arts, even if you aren't active in the arts. By the way, speaking of art, you guys are on that big mural that I did, and it's hanging up at the library in Bellevue.
Bellevue
great.
Public Library.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
all
that
hanging up.
was a task, and it wasn't thanks to us. It was thanks to Lee Schwartz. Do you know
Schwartz.
Lee over at the library? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he came up with the
That's an amazing project. And amazing abilities from both of you. It's just
and you
really-
guys are up there. Your
I
face-
remember where we did not sign.
Right.
what?
Well, we did not sign on the hind in sight of the
Of
giraffe.
the giraffe.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're near the giraffe.
I was like, no, Larry.
We're not going there.
No.
You know, this month I was expecting baby tigers at Disney at the Animal Kingdom.
Yes,
Did you
I
hear
heard
that?
you talking about that yesterday.
So I wonder if that's going to have like a video on it, like it had the
Like the Eagles?
like the eagles, like the giraffe. Yeah.
And you really advocate something unique in Marion County too, is where the older students, like from the high schools, they'll come down and they'll mentor the elementary age school students.
You find that prevalent with sports teams, which I think is fantastic because little kids idolize high school athletes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember my days in elementary school, and you just thought football players or basketball players were the bomb. Anything, and to meet them personally, oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah.
It was just, starstruck. So to have them spend time reading with them, not to them, but with them, just is anybody who wants to see that in action, just come to our schools, check in. It's a wonderful experience.
Kevin and Dr. Heidi, thank you both for coming in today.
Gosh, it's 8:00 already.
Good luck with
know.
the first opening of school, with everything. You guys are doing an outstanding job. I just
you.
love the fact that you've befriended us and are sharing what you're doing with us and our listeners and straightening us out. Sometimes we get it wrong, so thank you for straightening up the things we got wrong.
Well, thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
We're working for the little people.
And I'm one of them. I'm one of the little people. Thank you both. All right, we will be right back.